Hi, welcome to episode 7 of Everyday NLP Bites, the first season. Welcome back if you've been listening to or watching the videos of earlier podcasts, and a warm welcome if this is your first. My name's Florence Madden. I'm an NLP trainer and coach based in Cumbria in the north of England. I'm also the author of 2 books. The first of these is The Intention Impact Conundrum that I wrote based on a course that I run in the Lake District. And the second is Everyday NLP, a book that I co-wrote with my friend and associate Eleni Sarantanu of Life Spheres. This particular episode is built around the NLP Pre-Supposition that I've mentioned in earlier episodes, which is that we all have all the resources we need. A really captive, interesting thought. So I wanted to start with a quote from Wolfgang von Goethe, who was a German writer and statesman. And he said this: "If I accept you as you are, I will make you worse. However, if I treat you as though you are what you are capable of becoming, I will help you become that." That, for me, captures the essence of that presupposition. That there is so much in all of us and in other people that if we believe it's there, we are far more likely to draw it out. And that, as I say, is whether we're applying that to ourselves or other people around us. And it's a presupposition that often sparks a lot of debate when I introduce it on courses, because people are questioning, can it really be true? Well, my answer to that is, it's not about whether I can prove the truth of it or not, but holding that belief is a really, really powerful thing to do. Holding the belief that we have all the resources we need is likely, when we face any kind of problem or challenge, to keep us looking for a way around it or a solution for it, rather than giving up. When I was preparing this podcast, I was looking on LinkedIn and someone was reflecting on the current coronavirus crisis, and specifically the advice to people to stay at home, and indeed the difficulty that some people are finding with following that advice. And the writer was reflecting on the captivity that Terry Waite suffered back in the late 1980s in the Lebanon, he and a number of journalists as well. Now, he was held for something like 1,763 days, chained to a wall for most of the day, and for most of those over 1,700 days, he was in solitary confinement. He didn't know how long he was going to be there, and he didn't even know if he was going to survive it. But he had sufficient resourcefulness in himself to believe that he could come through that and to stay alive and stay sane. Now, I hope that none of our resourcefulness will ever be tested in that way. It's certainly being tested to some degree in the moment in the current crisis. And from governments right down to individuals, we are all finding a use for resourcefulness that we probably didn't even realize that we had. But resourcefulness and believing that we've got all the resources we need is not just for the current crisis. This is something that is useful to us throughout our lives, whether the challenge is a big one or a small one. And it's a powerful feeling to hold about yourself, because by holding that feeling, you keep on going and you keep on looking and you keep on learning. And the rather nice things about having all the resources that we need is that they don't have to be in our own skin. In fact, we're really limiting our resourcefulness when we only think about what we are capable of in that moment. For me, resourcefulness is very much about recognizing not just the resources within us, but also the resources round and about us and being able to mobilize those. On one occasion, I was sitting at my desk and really puzzling over a problem. Couldn't really decide how to go with it. And so I picked up the phone to my friend Jill. And I told her what the issue was. And so she started asking me some really good questions. And she said, okay, so what are you thinking about? And I told her, and she asked me about each of these and what I saw the benefits of those or the possible drawbacks. And she listened, very good at paying attention. And so she said, okay, so having gone through that then, which one are you favouring? So I said, which one? And she said, so is that your decision then to do that? And I said, yes, it is. And she said, good luck with that. And I said, thank you, Jill. Jill didn't give me any answer. She didn't rush in to rescue me because she believed in my resourcefulness. But what she did do was held a space and asked questions to draw that out. And I knew that before I even lifted the phone to her. So thank you, Jill, if you're watching. That's just one of a number of occasions when you have drawn out my resourcefulness. And it's not all one-way traffic either. Seeing other people as a resource to us, we recognize that we're also a resource to them. I was privileged last year to attend a course in Crete with NLP University. And there was a group of about 50 delegates, quite a large group of people, a few people from the UK, mostly people were from Greece or from Finland or from Russia. So quite a mix of cultures and different languages. And the organisers of the course did a really clever thing, in my opinion, loads of really clever things, to draw that group together and make us feel like a community, even though initially we seemed like quite a large group. And what we had within the group were guardian angels. Mine was a lovely lady called Anina from Finland, and I was also her guardian angel. We were a resource to one another, on top of which we were also giving encouragement and feedback to each other all the way through. So we were a resource for one another. And as a result of that, I'm pretty confident in saying that we all did and achieved more than we probably thought we could at the outset. So I want you to think about who the resources are for you. And what they bring to your life. And also notice the people for whom you are a resource and recognize what you bring to theirs. And whilst you're doing all that noticing, think back, not just through the current crisis, but just think back through your own life and think about the things that you have done and achieved that maybe initially you didn't think that you could. Basically, I want you to recognize the resourcefulness that is there already in you. And also think, what new challenge, what new goal can I set for myself so I can discover what else is in there? To finish, I have yet another quote from Wolfgang von Goethe, and here it is. The moment one definitely commits oneself, then providence moves too. Whatever you think you can do, or believe you can do, begin it. Action has magic, power, and grace. So good luck with that. I would love to get your feedback on all of these podcasts, and specifically what you've done as a result of them and the resourcefulness that you have discovered in yourself. So thank you for listening or watching. And the last in this current season of podcasts will be coming up shortly. And that is giving and receiving feedback powerfully. So I hope you'll join me then. In the meantime, you can find out more about the services I provide and the courses that I run on my website, which is www.florencemadden.co.uk. I hope you'll join me for episode 8. Bye for now.